Jeopardy! Champ Matthew Marcus was outplayed on Wednesday's episode after 4 wins and $114,200 total. The latest big winner with an enjoyable British accent to boot couldn't recover when newcomer Dan Wohl nabbed a huge $10,000 daily double. The former champ faced Dan, a high school history teacher from Forest Hills, New York, and Becky Mulder, a social media specialist from Salt Lake City, Utah. Matthew is a software developer now living in Portland, Oregon, who got plenty of buzz for his unmistakable accent and for winning big on Jeopardy. Before meeting his match, the long-haired frontrunner and the bleached-haired Dan were neck and neck after the first round, the latter led by $1,000. But the randomly placed daily doubles proved costly. Contestants choose how much to put on the line for the special hidden clues and respond to them alone. Dan landed on one in the second round and went all in on it, his entire $10,000 at that point, which proved to be a streak ender. He's betting it all. Host Ken Jennings, 48, sounded stunned and said, "Oh, wow, he's betting it all." The clue read, British architect Richard Rogers designed 1 Lime Street, the London headquarters of this venerable company. Dan nabbed it with Lloyd's of London and the crowd roared. "You have $20,000, sir," Ken declared to Dan as Matthew, in good sportsmanship, clapped despite the close-to-home moment given he's British. The returning champ then found the last daily double, but he looked dazed as he barely responded with a guess in time, losing $6,000. Dan then had a slight runaway going into Final Jeopardy with $26,400, Matthew with $13,000, and Becky at $5,200. Ken once more had to admit his gutsy daily double wager made him technically uncatchable by the end. Final Jeopardy read, alphabetically the first German city in encyclopedias. It was also the first one taken by the Allies in World War II. Dan and Matthew were correct with Aachen, with Dan adding $399 to win $26,799. Matthew will most likely return for the 2023 Tournament of Champions, as Ken softened the blow by saying at the end of the game, "No hard feelings." On a Reddit thread going over the episode, Matthew wrote, "I spent some time afterward wondering how things would have panned out if I'd got the Lloyd's daily double. Having spent the last few minutes of play desperately trying to reach half of Dan's total and just missing, I was pretty delighted that he got Final Jeopardy correct and made that struggle academic. A game well won by a great player." Some fans had to admit in the thread they were a bit bummed out, as one wrote, "New. Sorry about that, Matthew. Congrats, Dan." Gutsy wager, wrote a second Reddit user. "Didn't see that coming."